In the last episode of Allies, we started to cover the Elemental Masters from Season 4, and there were simply too many minifigures to be able to cover at once. So here we are for the part 2, and we got the rest of the minifigures that we were introduced to from Legacy. Gravis, the Master of Gravity, is first up today, and I love how this minifigure looks. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any leg printing, but the rest of him is pretty bang on to the actual show model. He is also coming in with a dual-sided face, one being this confident smile, and the other one having his eyes shut for a more concentrated look, and I genuinely believe that both of these are fantastic. His accessories were his elemental effects, and they are a very nice touch to add to his poses, especially when paired with the eyes closed face. This is definitely a fantastic looking minifigure that goes great with the rest of the Alliance. Hopefully I pronounced this correctly. Next up is Bolobo, the Master of Nature, and this one is a bit rough, like his name. While I do mostly like the print, it doesn't quite look like his show model. It does have the colour of the legs, and the feather is correct, but that's about it. The dual-sided head has a happy and an angry look, which is nice to see, but it also doesn't resemble the show's head at all, so I'm not sure what happened at LEGO, but this is the result of it. His accessory is his staff though, and it is a very nice touch and adds to the look, and is a great example of his elemental power, but it is just spoiled a bit by the rest of the minifigure. It's such a weird conclusion on this minifigure, because overall he does fit into the set of the Elemental Masters quite nicely, but I do wish he was more faithful to his original design like Gravis was. Next up today is Jacob, the Master of Sounds, and I don't have much of an opinion on him. Again, when it comes to the print, mainly the torso, it isn't accurate to the show. It's essentially if he wore a similar jacket and added shoulder pads and a scarf. But for what it's worth, his head print is borderline perfect. I actually really like how this looks, as it feels like the character is representing. His accessory is the guitar he uses to channel his elemental powers, and like the rest of them, it is a nice touch, but unfortunately it's just a generic guitar compared to the more unique one that we saw in the show. I don't know though, because he is an alright minifigure, but he's not accurate at the same time. But I also don't really care about him enough to have a full opinion, and I probably wouldn't even have had him if I didn't get the set he came in. But to be more positive though, Camille the Master of Form is the last Elemental Master on show, and I love this minifigure. Some of the minor details don't fully align with the show, but overall I think she's a great representation of the show's model. Only having a one-sided head, which is the smirk, is a bit of a shame because it would have been nice to have her with a second expression, but I don't mind as the rest of her does feel very unique, and she definitely stands out in the crowd. Unfortunately, she doesn't come with any sort of elemental accessories like the other, because how can you really represent her power when her ability is to change into other characters? The only way you can really do it is just by replacing parts of her with other characters. But overall, she is a great look and it fits in well with the rest of the minifigures to a surprising degree, especially considering how she released years after the others. But that about does it for the Elemental Alliance of Ninjago, and I hope you enjoyed it. When it comes down to the recommendations for these guys, it really does come down to whether you're completing the set or not. If yes, of course get them. If no, they're still nice to have, but I'd recommend Gravis and Camille in particular, but none of them are too expensive to get, so get what you like the look of. But let me know which is your favourite of the bunch and if you own them all. Okay, bye!